All right, welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. I think I'm going to call this something like please judge me while I show. That's right, show. That's another keyword. Some magnificent scarcity. That's right. From now on, nobody in the hobby will call it manufactured scarcity anymore. I've just outlawed it. I'm the judge. Woo! We will call it magnificent scarcity. I will explain why. Let's do it. But first, because my video skills are less than or equal to mediocre, Scott sent me this wonderful Christmas card, and I displayed it backwards because I was putting it on the other side of the camera or using the other camera. So now I'm displaying it forward so that you can check it out. Thank you so much, Scott. Also, I should probably let everybody know, look at that Christmas tree lamp. Just a little bit of water was at the base. I'm like, uh-oh. So I hope it will hang on for many years, but if not, this is a huge, conundrum, potential disaster in the Vintage Sanctuary. But if not, we will look for a replacement. Although I just love that thing, and many of you have commented how much you love it as I show it around the holiday season. So thank you so much. I want to start by talking about the junk wax era. Now, some people have said, and of course this is from that era, although these aren't so easy to get because it's a Tiffany, and I am a Tiffany snob. I will admit it. But let's talk about the junk wax era a little bit. Now, some people have said, let's not call it that anymore because that's a derogatory term. So what do I think? Well, I think that some people use it and they use it in a derogatory way, but not everybody. Not everybody. Some people just use it in a descriptive way, that it's become part of the vernacular. Ooh, we've got the red metallic snowflake out of 99 there. From 2022. So junk wax has become part of the vernacular to describe cards from a particular era of overproduction for the most part. But it's not always meant in a derogatory way. So I think people can, say what they want. I think we should, not be putting down other people's collecting styles. We can say what we like and what we don't like, but, to each their own. I will rejoice with anyone as they collect the way they like to collect, even if it does not appeal to me. I'll be super stoked for them if their collecting is working out well for them. All right. What about the term manufactured scarcity? Do I think we should, quote unquote, outlaw that or discourage people from using it? Well, my thought is people can, again, say whatever they want. I'm not generally a fan of restricting speech or trying to, not that you can anyway. I would say, once again, some people use that term in a derogatory manner, manufactured scarcity, meaning it really doesn't, it doesn't count, right? These cards don't have true scarcity that would make them meaningful and desirable. They're just, new, overproduced cardboard. Now, limited if it's low serial numbered, but they've created lots of parallels, so it's just overproduced. When you consider all the parallels and all the different products today, it's undesirable because it's modern, and the real cards, the true cards, and the true collectors will collect the vintage cards. So some people use manufactured scarcity in a derogatory way. Others just use it to, in a descriptive way, to describe cards that often are serial numbered, and you could say it was at least premeditated scarcity, predetermined scarcity. They decided to print 99, for example, of this red metallic judge. So just like junk wax can be used in a derogatory manner or simply a descriptive manner, so can manufactured scarcity. Well, today, and perhaps from here on out, I'm calling it magnificent scarcity because I absolutely love it. I love scarce cards. I love serial numbered cards. And you know how many are out there. Now, I know there have been a few slip-ups, where it's like, oh, this was supposed to be a 1 of 1. How come there's 2 of them? That is a problem. That's a 2 of 1. How did that happen? So today, I want you to judge me. And as I show some magnificent scarcity. That's what we're going to call it on this channel. Magnificent scarcity. Let's do it. Where to begin? Well, at the beginning, I suppose. This just came in the mail within the last hour. And now, this is a new product that was just released, I believe, less than 2 weeks ago. And look at this magnificent scarcity, 16 out of 50. Oh, this is absolutely glorious. Now, some are calling this the gold foil filigree, and others are calling this the gold refractor. I was looking and chatting with a couple of my friends, Dylan, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, as well as Shane, Shoebox Legends, and digging into what's going on with 2025 Allen and Ginter. And the checklist, like on the Beckett site, for example, shows out of 50 a gold foil filigree, but I don't think this is it, because the gold foil filigree has a white background and then it's got what looks like gold wire, and that matches the definition of filigree. So I actually think these are gold refractors. Now, they do have a little design in the back, but I think these are gold chromium refractors out of 50 that are not actually shown on the checklist. And these are coming out right now. In fact, I'm going to give you an opportunity to judge me in the future, because I have 2 more of these bad boys coming, and it's not Willie Mays, but 2 more of these, what I believe are gold refractors, chromium refractors out of 50, and not the gold foil filigree, which is the only out of 50 card shown. I tell you what, 2025, I got to confess. Now, some are saying, is this the vintage sanctuary or what? Well, it's the vintagey sanctuary, because Allen and Ginter is awfully vintagey, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Woohoo! That's right. Some of you have been waiting. When's the first woohoo coming? I don't count them. I just make them. I was going to say manufacture. I just do the magnificent woohoos. I love this design. This 2025 Allen and Ginter. So I got this, what I'm calling the gold refractor. And tell me what you think. If you've dug into this checklist, I just think that the published checklists are not correct on this new product. So we'll see if they get that fixed, because this is not the gold foil filigree. Although you would think, well, what else is it? Because, there's nothing else shown out of 50 on the checklist. Well, it's the gold chrome refractor, and it is absolutely glorious. You know what I just realized? I've got some more of these for Willie Mays. I got to pause this video, get them out, show them to you. Woohoo! All right. So we got this 2020 gold chrome refractor Allen and Ginter magnificent scarcity number 26 of 50. Then we got this 2021. I just showed a judge from this set recently. I absolutely love this 2021. We got the magnificent scarcity on the back, 42 of 50. The 2022 magnificent scarcity number 5 out of 50. Now, here's the deal. Allen and Ginter, the chrome, as I understand it. Now, if I get any of this wrong, please feel free to correct me. I'm learning and seeking to share the knowledge that I learned. Shout out to Eric. Those back pages. By the way, I've got a card coming in the mail, totally Eric inspired, but it's not here yet, so it's going to take a little bit. So my understanding is in 2024, there was no longer a separate chrome Allen and Ginter release. So any Allen and Ginter chrome was embedded into the regular Allen and Ginter. And that is also true this year, which is why this doesn't say chrome anywhere, although it seems to be a chromium design 2025. Which of these is my favorite? I guess I'll put this one up here. or I'll just hold it back here. Look at that. Woo! Now, what about this? Am I looking to complete? Do I need one from every year? Here's how I look. Look at a collection like this or a focus like this. They're tough. You know, there's only 50 of each. It's conceivable I could get one for every year that they have one for maize, and that would be great. But I don't really think of it, especially when things are tough. I don't necessarily think in terms of completion. Maybe it's just a psychological thing, but I just think in terms of enjoying the ones I have and adding ones that I like. And, you know, if I get to a completion, I get to a completion. So that's kind of how I think of it. Right now, I don't know, this could be recency bias, but this 2025 is my favorite by far. And I love the others too, but this thing is just stunning. Just absolutely stunning. And this seems like a great segue to what I want to talk about next, because I've been thinking here in the Vintage Sanctuary, how much does completion mean to me? And when I was at a card show recently, I talked about that in my last video with a couple of local collecting buddies. I got 2 cards. I have not made much progress on my Hank Aaron Topps run or my Willie Mays Topps run for quite a while, but I made a little progress. I got this beauty for 25 bucks in an exceptional vintage greatness and I tell you what, not that it matters. I don't, you know, it wouldn't bother me if there's some tiny little imperfection somewhere, but I've looked this thing over just because of curiosity more than anything. And other than just the trivial amount of corner wear, I really can't see, you know, like a little bit down there on that lower left corner. I really can't see. I mean, the centering is really, really nice side to side. There's a little print dot there. You know, it's centered up just a little bit, but I really can't see what holds this back from being a much, you know, a higher grade. So that's cool. I feel like for 25 bucks, man, for 25 bucks, wow. Now, this is, I mentioned that I love Magnificent Scarcity. Woohoo! This card right here is not a scarce card. There's a lot of them out there. Is that going to fit? Probably not. I'm going to have to do a little rearranging here. So the 73 Topps Hank Aaron is not a scarce card by any means. However, I tell you what, 25 bucks for a graded copy, and that card is in such, I don't care, you know, number be damned, that card is in such sweet, sweet condition. And, you know, Playing Days Hank Aaron, I am happy, very happy to add it to my collection. So how is this a segue? Here's how it's a segue. Here's the other card I picked up recently at that card show. And I just don't care for it, I've discovered. And it's not the condition. I mean, you know, these 71s are tough with the black borders. So I know it's got some chipping and some corner wear there. But, you know, overall, I think it's pretty darn nice as far as the way it presents. You know, reasonably well centered. And, you know, for a 4, I actually think with these tough black borders, I actually think this is pretty nice looking for a 4. And I actually got it for a nice price. So what's the deal? Well, the deal is they did Willie wrong here. Look at that picture. I've realized I just don't care to look at this picture. It just doesn't bring me joy. So this is a big epiphany here in the Vintage Sanctuary. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that I won't be collecting. I won't be doing a full Willie Mays run. At some point, I'm going to sell or trade this card. I'm not sad that I bought it. Believe it or not, I'm actually quite happy because I got it for a decent price. So I think, you know, if I consign it for auction, you know, I'll probably get most of my money back. Might cost me 20 bucks or something, but that's a small pittance to pay to me because I've been displaying this card ever since I got it because it's reminding me of something. It's kind of it's a tangible reminder that I'm changing direction just a little bit here. I'm changing direction because I'm not going to be going after for example, a complete Willie Mays Topps run, just the ones I like, or who knows, maybe, you know, maybe just the ones that I like the most. And now, I'm blessed to have the 1952 tops, the 53, the 54, the 56. I don't see those going anywhere. I really love those. I think at the very least, I'll complete his 50s tops cards. I would kind of like to upgrade the 56 because, they're just kind of, it has this, one of the corners has a lot of chipping, really common because I have the white back. And, so I wouldn't mind upgrading that, but I'm not getting rid of the one I have because I really, really like that card. So, I'll hold on and see how that goes. But I think I'll at least complete his 50s and, and we'll see how it goes from there. Now, what about this card? This one I really like. Now, granted, this is in better condition. And so, I like that too. But it's not so much because of the condition, although I appreciate that. It's because I think this is a perfectly fine photo of Hammer and Hank right here. So, I think this is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful card. Absolutely love it. So, this 71 tops I'm hanging on to. But this 71 tops I'm not because, that picture just doesn't bring me joy. And I want to look at cards that bring me joy. So, as I mentioned, I'm displaying this one on purpose to remind me. And I know it sounds crazy because when I buy a card and decide I don't want it, generally it bums me out at least a little bit temporarily, I think that's a natural psychological response because then you got to hassle with selling it, trading it, whatever. But in this case, I'm actually really stoked. I'm really stoked I got this because I think it's reminding me of a change in direction here that, I actually don't want, I love 71 tops. I love the black borders, but I actually don't want this particular card. I love Willie Mays, absolutely love him, but that one just doesn't bring me joy. However, let's look at something else here. What about, I probably should have told you before, but I am a hegonist now. I got into hedonism, not hedonism, although, I don't mind pleasure. I think pleasure can be very pleasurable, but hedonism, here it is, 54 Red Heart Jim Hegan. Not sure if I've shown this before. I'm completing all of the red hearts with a red background. I'm down to the red Shane Deans, no pun intended there, the red background, red Shane Deans. Bid on a few and been outbid. This one, sure, it's a little bit off center, which doesn't bother me because I think it looks absolutely fantastic and I got a great price on it. I didn't want to, to me, okay, let me talk about centering a little bit. I think centering is desirable, but I also think, getting a 4 like this that isn't perfectly centered, but it's super sharp, super vibrant, super clean, super fresh. To me, super sharp, vibrant, clean, and fresh, that is worth something, that's worth celebrating as well. So I celebrate magnificent freshness and sharpness as well as magnificent centering. So I'm happy to have this. Now, why am I showing this card? I'm showing this card from the 54 Red Heart because I do intend to complete all 11 of the red background red hearts because I like them all. So there's not a single picture that I think just does the player wrong. So, there will be cases where my completion is literally completion. And there'll be cases where my completion is defined as we'll see. Like maybe I'm just getting the Willie Mays tops cards from the 50s for the most part, and then a few of my favorites from the 60s, a few of my favorites thereafter. We'll see how that goes. But let's hear it, everybody. Let's hear, is this fresh and sharp and sweet? This is like the refractor of 54. Let's hear it for Heganism. Woohoo! All right, more manufactured Scarcity. This came up, I think it's been a few months and it was only literally $30 or less. Buy it now. So I scarfed this bad boy up. More magnificent Scarcity. Let's see. There it is near the bottom. 43 of 50. 2024 gilded mini diamond Stan Musial. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Woo. Oh, man, that is sweet. So I just wanted to show you that because I have not shown that before. All right, where are we going to go from here? Wow, those mini diamonds really go well with the, the Christmas tree lamp effect. Notice when you kind of contrast the glitters floating around in the water with those mini diamonds. I mean, that's working. I planned that. I have a staff that planned that. Okay, we're going to go just do a little star. Now, we're going to get to showtime. Showtime. I want to talk about that. Thanks for sticking with me. Decided to just go long and have a nice episode here. So, the Franz bread. I don't know, there probably aren't too many people out there looking for this card, although, there are a few. One gentleman, Steve, I forget your channel name, Steve. I apologize. But anyway, he had indicated that he, was interested in getting one of these 84 star Franz bread, the 84, tougher than the 85, and a local bakery, Northwest Bakery. I live in Oregon, about an hour or so out of Portland, Oregon. So I've been to the Franz Bread Bakery outlet multiple times. I love food and beverages issues. This has some local nostalgia for me. So I picked this up some time ago. Now I have shown this card, but I think it's just, the color on the back. I tell you what, when Star does it right with those color matches, that's just a little scratch on the holder there on top. But they really, when they did it right, they really did it right. So why am I showing this? I've shown it before because Clyde Drexler is not someone that I collect. This is an example of a card in my collection that's just, kind of an exception to the rule. It doesn't fit into a category per se, although I do like star cards, as you know if you watch the channel. It's just an individual card I really wanted, and I got it at a great price. And look what Star did with it. They put it in the frosted, look what PSA did. They put it in the frosted holder, which they should do for all Star cards. Come on, PSA. Come on, man. Oh, I'm going to send this in to PSA. I want it to get a 10 because, you only gave it a 6. So please change that to a 10. I like the 6, but while you're changing people's grades, just make that a 10 and we'll be good. All right, what about this one? I know I'm picking on PSA. This is my favorite slab of this. I got this one. I don't need doubles, but why did I pick this one up? I was able to get it for a great price. And, doubles of a card that is kind of a exception in my collection, not part of a collecting theme per se, but just an individual card that I love. So I guess it fits that overall, collect what you love. This is my favorite slab by far. It's about the size of a PSA slab. I like the compactness. It's got the black insert like SGC. They're emphasizing authentic. I like that. And with that, I just think this label is very classy. Number could be smaller, but I don't mind it because this label over here kind of dominates the number, and it's emphasizing authenticity, grading, and authentication with that silver and the red. I just think it's a very classy label, and subgrades on the back. They combine corners and edges, but that's fine. They kind of go together, I think. So my favorite slab by far, it's not even close. Check those two beauties out together. All right, let's stick with Star and then we'll get into showtime. So here's the deal. You know that sometimes I like to get doubles, especially when I'm ending up with doubles of a card that, is not part of a collecting theme, this beautiful 84 star Franz Bread Clyde Drexler. But here's a card I've had for a long time. Oh, no, sorry, I botched that. Here's a card I've had for a long time. Look at those subs, 9595985. In a minty fresh 9. I believe this was, actually in the 50-ish dollar range, 50 to 60 bucks, maybe even closer to 50, which is just crazy because I've had it for a while. And, again, what would the Star 101 Jordan from this very set go for in a BGS 9? Oh, man. Crazy money. Buy yourself a house. Buy yourself a really, really nice house and some nice cars and some nice poodles, and get them all get them all with floofy haircuts and everything else and still have plenty of money left over. But I got this recently. $149 or $150, $149.99, maybe somewhere in there, something like that. And I just said, I just couldn't pass it up because I'm like, this dude, he's got GOAT claims, man. And this is 84 star. And I know this is not a rookie card by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm like, come on, man. Beautiful, beautiful card, the purple and gold. They really did it right with the color match here. And, again, the difference in price between the Jordan. Not that I expect this to be, worth tens of thousands of bucks or more. No, not by any means. But I just think it is an absolutely fantastic card. Feels like it's a card that I like that feels underpriced to me. When that happens, card that I like that, is somewhat scarce. At least it's not super available. I think there's, potential strong future demand, or at least enough future demand to overcome the current prices. I just think cheap, really nice from a fantastic set, and hardly paying that much, especially when you compare it to like the Jordan, for example. So I thought, heck yeah, I'm going to get a couple of those in the purple and gold. Super stoked. Woohoo! All right, it is, yeah, okay. All right, well, a little bit more star, then we'll go to showtime. All right, not going to take them out of the plastic, but I couldn't resist showing these again because super stoked to have them. BGS 6, BGS 7, and then a couple of PSA 6s. And now let's go ahead and take a moment to enjoy one of these up close and personal. 84 star Larry Bird. I've got 4 of these. As you just saw, I was trying to get at least 5. I don't know why. A handful of birds is better than a bird in the bush. That's what they always say. Or maybe that's not what they say, but what the heck. Oh yeah, man. Absolutely love this card. Once again, 84 star, number 1. Honored as number 1 because he was kicking butt and taking names. I don't know if he was taking names, but he was kicking butt. Man, that is so nice. So nice. Feels Christmassy with all that red and green. Woohoo! All right, finally showtime. So here's the deal. So I made a video at one point talking about, the different kind of collecting focuses I have and why. And I really, really just love players that have done amazing things like Willie Mays might be the best all-around player ever. I mean, he's got claims to it. Man, I absolutely love. I know I mentioned it, but I tell you what, this is scary because this is a brand spanking new release, and I'm not interested in buying boxes. I'd rather just buy the cards that I want personally. That's just my thing. But man, I just absolutely can't get enough of this. I got a couple more of these coming. Not of Maze. That's just a little, tantalizer there. Tantalizer, is that a word? I don't know, but I'm stoked. I bought those others before this one came too, and of course those will take a while to get here. One of them has to go through the authenticity guarantee program. So I guess you could say I took a chance, but I think I'm going to be super pleased because wow. All right, so Shane, Shoebox Legends, he made a comment on one of my videos. And I believe he also sent me a text in a text string about how, showtime makes sense for me because he's doing something special. I like to collect cards of players that do something special. I thought, yeah, I got to have a Shohei Ohtani card. Now, how many will I collect? Who knows? It's a slippery slope. I believe Shane mentioned that as well in another comment. It's a slippery slope. I didn't want to go too crazy paying the show tax. Now, I'm not saying, hey, once you have claims to being the GOAT, or you might become the GOAT, or you might be the GOAT, or you're a GOAT-like substance, you know how that goes. The sky is the limit for the prices of your cards. And so we know that Shohei Ohtani cards right now, are sky high. So I wanted to, not spend super crazy money, but see what I could get. Without further ado, here's the first one I got, $140. Now I know Double D Dylan has this. I think Shane might as well. 2022 for $140. I think this card just works with, well, actually PSA's red label works here as well, but the red in the background along the wall there, and then the red on the uniforms, the red caps, the red stars, just the red everything. This card, I think, just works. Look at that MVP caliber. AL MVPs have eyes on the bigger prize. At this point, I believe, well, Trout had 3 MVPs and Ohtani had 1. But in case you're wondering, Ohtani's saying to Trout, hey, dude, between you and I, we're going to eventually have more MVPs than Barry Bonds. And Trout's like, I don't know what Trout's saying. Trout's like, I'm going to go kick some butt. Anyway, yeah, I think that's beautiful. You can see both their faces, both their uniform numbers. I think that's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Plus, it talks about MVPs on the back too. And again, magnificent scarcity number 13 out of 76. Of course, the Independence Day always out of 76. Whoo, yeah. And let me go ahead and move these judges out of 99. Move magnificent scarcity to make room for magnificent scarcity. What do you think? What came next? Well, you know what happens. Yeah, it's a slippery slope because I was like, oh yeah. I don't know why, but I wanted to have at least 3 cards with Ohtani. Now, this is a multiplayer card. I love multiplayer cards, but I want both of the players, if there's 2 or 3, I want them generally all to be studs. So we got a couple of serious studs there. This one for $150, $10 more. Seller wanted 200, I believe. We agreed to 150. Look at this, 2024. Now we see him in his Dodgers uniform with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the super stud of this year's playoffs. I mean, these are a couple of serious playoff studs. Check that out. I think this is just a fabulous multiplayer card. What do I look for in a multiplayer card? Well, I don't have actually, I should say, what am I looking for? Because it's not like I have modern multiplayer cards. I think this is about it for the most part, but you can see both their faces. I just, beautiful, beautiful. Seems like it's just capturing this wonderful moment. And I really love the way they did the Independence Day design in 2024. Magnificent scarcity number 15 out of 76. The Dodgers banked their 2024 offseason on signing the 2 Japanese stars. Seems like it worked out pretty darn well. Check this out. Wow, wow, wow. Well, guess what? Then what happened? Well, what happened was I kept looking for Ohtani cards. That's the scary part. And one came up, 225 or best offer. I sent an offer of 200. It was late at night on the, fairly late on the West Coast, which means on the East Coast. Pretty much everyone was in bed. And I sent an offer, didn't hear anything. And after about 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm just buying this bad boy. The Ohtani tax is high right now, so 225 seemed like a solid buy for this beauty. As a designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani, magnificent scarcity, number 12 out of 76. Ooh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Woohoo! Talk about pair excellence. These beg to be shown together. My battery's getting low. That's what I get for being long-winded. I'm going to have to shut this down pretty quick here, but check out this pair excellence. What do you think about that? Magnificent scarcity. Woo! Oh, yeah. Magnificent scarcity. All right, we are just about to the end here in the vintagey sanctuary, because some of these cards are very vintagey. Look at that. That's very vintagey. Here's another one that's very vintagey. I just got this. Now, this is my first one of this type. It's the vintage stock. They make 99, and the vintage stock gets that vintage Topps logo with a loopy T there, which I think is really cool. And it's got a vintagey feel. Out of 99, magnificent scarcity, 89 out of 99 there. Just, I like the, the thickness of the cardstock, and kind of, you can sort of tell on the back that vintage cardstock, which to me is quite nostalgic. To me, this sort of combines, the modern with the vintage. I am just super stoked to have this. 90 bucks. Can't remember if I mentioned 90 bucks on this vintage stock. Once again, will I try to get all of the vintage stock? I mean, not necessarily, just one at a time. When stuff is scarce, when it's magnificently scarce, I just get one at a time and see how it goes. All right, are you ready to be blown away? We got this glorious, magnificent scarcity vintage stock. We'll kind of put that like that. And then what about the Topps black? Out of 67, magnificent. Woo, man. I am so out of 67. So stoked I was able to get that. And what about the Independence Day? I've got a friend who bid on one of these. I thought about reaching out and asking him if he won, but I don't want to make him feel bad if he didn't, although he doesn't mind if I ask, but I'm not going to mention his name right now. We'll see. Although you could probably figure out who it is, maybe. But anyway, look at this. Woo! Magnificent scarcity. 44 out of 76. How's that for a tremendous trio? A tremendous trio of magnificent scarcity. We've got out of 99, out of 76, out of 67. By the way, Topps got it wrong that year. It should be out of 68, because 1951 plus 68 makes 2019. So, hey. All right. I guess it's time to close this bad boy out. Just wanted to show you this. The super short print's got the Christmas tree background in the background. Now, I've shown this before, but seemed like a good time to show it. The holiday season. Let me turn this camera around, and then we'll have some Christmas music as an outro. All right. Let me know what you think down below. Agree with me, disagree with me, but you gotta love me if you want to go to heaven. Thank you for sharing in my joy. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the vintage sanctuary. Take care, my collecting brothers and sisters.